Are you looking to rent, buy, or sell? How do you identify the right real estate agent for you? Do you know how to hire the right real estate agent? That's what I'm going to be talking about in the video coming up. Hi, my name is Edwin Gonzalez with the Couple Team Brokerage by Partnership Realty Inc. here in the Palm Beach County area in South Florida. If it's your first time tuning into my channel, welcome. One of the reasons that motivate me to make this video is because I see quite often, people thinking that because somebody has a real estate agent license is capable to do the things that you really want. If you're looking to rent, you need somebody with certain characteristics. If you're looking to buy or sell, you still need somebody with different characteristics. How do you identify which one is the right one for you? Basically, if you're looking to rent, you need somebody with certain characteristics. Like for instance, you want to have somebody who is local in the area that you want to move in. You want to know somebody who knows about all the apartment complex. You want to know somebody who knows about the market, who knows about basically what apartments are available for you. You want to have somebody who is knowledgeable in that area about the neighborhoods that are going with your taste. Also, you want to have somebody who is really good with communication. And I'm not talking about knowing how to speak. I'm talking about basically you want to have somebody who is knowledgeable enough so they can guide you in the process. Basically, if you're in step one of the ladder and you're looking to rent, then basically you want to have somebody who can teach you the right process and basically guide you, because eventually you want to buy, you're going to want to buy a property. So basically you want to have somebody who can guide you in that process. Also, you want to have somebody who is knowledgeable with credit. Why? Because if you're in step one of the ladder, don't you want to have somebody, if you still have to rent for a full year, don't you want to take advantage of that year and use it to build your credit? If you're going to be renting a property and you're going to hire a real estate agent, you want to be able to build that relationship. Don't be like waiting for him to call you. You call that real estate agent and you be on his feet. Oh, no, I'm not going to do it because that's not my job. Well, let me tell you something. A lot of the real estate agents, they don't get compensated the way they should be getting compensated. A lot of time they start investing all their time or their time that they can be using for other things. They start investing, looking for properties, and you got making phone calls, talking to landlords, and then all of a sudden they call that person and the person is like, no, I already moved. When did you move? We spoke yesterday. Yeah, I found something this morning and I just signed up. So it's really, the reality is that a lot of real estate agents, they don't get compensated the way they should be. They will be willing to help you as much as they can. Of course they will, but they gotta see something in return. We're not talking about money wise. Basically, if you are looking to rent a property, one of the things is that you want to have somebody who has disponibility. Basically, you want to be able to call that person and say, listen, I want to be able to see a property now at 10 o'clock in the morning because I took my day off and I really want to be able to do it. Don't call them the same day. You know what I mean? I have people calling me the same day. Hey, I'm ready to see properties, and I'm like, okay. This guy. People don't. I make my schedule sometime a week before. You know what I mean? But not everybody's like that. Sometimes you gotta stretch your schedule. Okay, let me see what I can do and move things around. And we always try to accommodate people. But the reality is that if you know that on Tuesday you're gonna have your day off and you want to go and look for properties, make sure that you call them and that person has the disponibility to do it. Sometimes some people get real estate agents who are part-time, but it's not about being part-time. It is part-time because that other person has a full-time job that is 8 to 5, for example. And then during that time he won't be able to show you any properties. So you want to have somebody who has the disponibility to show you the properties at the same time that you are able to see the properties as well. Okay, that's it for renting, but I want to talk to you about buying. Before you guys leave, I want to talk to you about certain characteristics that buyer's agent or somebody who's going to be helping you buying your property must have. And one of the first thing is you want to have somebody who is knowledgeable with different lenders, somebody who knows different lenders and not just one lender, two lenders, three lenders. Why? I mean, I want to be able to find out which is the right lender for my buyer. So you want to have somebody who's really knowledgeable about the lenders out there, different programs that they have. You want to have somebody who knows about the incentives that the city that you're going to be moving in have. You know, maybe you can save some money like that too. Another thing, you need to have somebody who knows the market, somebody who knows the industry, but somebody who knows the area that you're going to be living at. Basically, you want to know somebody who is not just sitting at their house using the phone and getting in the computer and just checking properties on MLS. Yes, I mean, you want to have somebody who check properties on MLS, but at the same time, you want to have somebody who's not afraid to go and talk with any for sale by owners. You know, a lot of for sale by owners, not all of them, but a lot of for sale by owners, they're willing to compensate that agent as well. But you want to have somebody who is knowledgeable in that aspect, somebody who knows the areas, the different regions of the area that you're going to be moving in. You know, somebody who knows the inventory, basically. You want to have somebody who is detail oriented. Why? Because when you find that property that you like in the right neighborhood, you know, everything is really nice, but when you start walking into that properties, you want to know that that person is so detail oriented that they can start seeing things that you are not seeing, but they can use it in your advantage. That way they can go back to the seller and start negotiating your price. Your selling price. Also, you want to have somebody who has those negotiation skills, you know, develop, so they can start going back and forth and basically playing or negotiating in your behalf. Okay, and this last one for buyers, a lot of people don't really think about it, and I'm talking about you want to have somebody who knows the different contractors out there. Let's say you're moving into a brand new neighborhood and then you need an electrician or you need a painter, and you call your real estate agent because he sold you that property. He should know about different contractors in that area, and then all of a sudden he just send you somebody that he doesn't even know. Okay, so now it's the time for you to sell your property. Are you going to be using the same agent that help you buying that property? Maybe yes, maybe no. But let's say you want to have somebody who has certain characteristic. You want to have somebody who's really knowledgeable about marketing. Basically, what is selling a property? Selling a property is nothing more than just bringing that property out of the neighborhood into people's eyes. Bring it out there, bring it everywhere. You want to see that property everywhere. Once you put that sign up, you want to be able to sell it as soon as possible. So you want to have somebody who's really knowledgeable with marketing. The best way, I mean, if it's doing marketing, you want to have somebody who's taking the right pictures. You know how many houses I see with pictures with houses that, I don't want to say that much, but I mean, sometimes you go to the MLS and then you start seeing pictures, or you go to Zillow and you see those pictures and you're like, oh my gosh, I mean, why people want to sell their houses but they don't do professional photos, you know, or they do pictures with their phone in a way, or they don't even fix certain things. I mean, or they just take a picture just like that. There's different ways that you can take those pictures, so when people see it, you know, they'll be like, they will be more interested in finding more about that property. Maybe they're not going to make a decision based on those pictures, but they can see those pictures and they can feel the taste. You know, they can have a taste of how that property might look for. You know, they want to be able to feel comfortable. You want to be able to transmit some information into people's brain. Basically, you want to be able to put that property so when somebody see it, they can see themselves living in that property. You know what I mean? You don't want to have a house all messy around and take just picture out there from here, from there. No, it doesn't work like that. So you want to have somebody who's really knowledgeable when it comes to marketing and marketing that property right. So basically, one of the things that is a must, how's that person writing skills? I mean, writing skills. What do you mean writing skills? Yes, writing skills. Basically, I mean, when I go to the MLS and I start seeing on the public remarks, and I start seeing just a little bit of information and sometimes too much information, not going to the point, but it's just too much overwhelming information. You know, some information, beautiful house here. I mean, everybody put beautiful house. No, you want to have somebody who has skills in copywriting and sell your property based on whatever is written there, because whatever is written there is the same thing that you're going to be putting on social media and all that, so people get to read that and they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that, you know, I see this in the picture, but oh my gosh. I mean, and you start finding out. How do you find out about that? When you get and sit with the agent, tell him, listen, that's fine that you're giving me a package, a listing presentation and all that, but I want to see your current listing, how it looks like. Bring me a copy of it. When you see that listing, you go to public remarks and read. I mean, you know how many times I go to the MLS and I see so much missing information, so much missing pieces that I'm like, what the hell? You know what I mean? Where's this or where's that? And you're like, so I need to call the agent. How professional is that person with their brand? Basically, how that person exposes themselves. Is it just putting a sign right in front of your property and then just leave it there? Or if he's putting a post, you know, a nice with metal sign, and you know, so people representing, you know what I mean, you want to see your property to represent. I mean, if you're selling your property, you don't want to have a little bit of sign right there at the bottom. You know, when you're cutting the grass, you see all the grass on top of the sign. You know, sometimes you see a sign and you don't even see the phone. Basically, how important is the brand for that person? So whenever you're putting your property to sell, you want to have that property, you know what I mean, with a nice post, nice brand. How's that person representing their brand with open houses? Now we're not allowed to do that much open houses. Now we're doing virtual open houses, but in reality, you know, when they're doing open houses, how they're doing it? Are they doing open houses for 2 hours only? Are they just, you know, sitting there waiting for people to walk in? You want to have somebody who's bringing much people as they can to your property. You want to be able to sell it quick. So I mean, when you're able to do those open houses, you want to have that property packed full with people. How's this agent's network? How do you find out about this agent's network? Networks, if you don't know what networks means, I'm talking about how many people does this agent know? You know, does he is he from a team, or does he work by himself, or is this agent maybe have 300 person on social media? You know what I mean? Or does this agent have different ways to communicate to other people? How do you find out about how big his network is? Basically, go to their social media, find out how many people are following this person, how big this guy is on social media. Ask him, how do you communicate to your current people? Ask him, how big is the people that you work with, or your brokerage? How many agents do you guys have? Do you guys collaborate with each other? You know, I mean, and the last, but I think is one of the most important ones, and this one is for you that you're planning to sell your property. But in reality, it's also for those agents out there. You know, how many times I see a property that, you know, I'm really interested in that property, and I call the agent and the agent doesn't pick up the phone. You know, you want to have somebody. I mean, if you call this agent before you're signing in any agreement, and you call this agent and he call you 4 or 6 hours later, that tells you right there that if that happened with you, you know what I mean, it's gonna happen when you're his customers too. You know, I mean, there's many times that I try to reach out to that agent 2, 3, 4, 5 times. I mean, before I can get somebody on the phone. You want to have somebody who's picking the phone up like quick, somebody who has that accessibility. Okay, so now you're able to identify, basically based on your needs, what characteristic that real estate agent must have in order for them not to waste your time and you don't waste their time either. You know what I mean? Now you're able to identify those characteristics, and you know for sure that you're going to be able to maximize your time as quick as possible. If you want to go a little bit more deeper into this subject. Next week, I'm gonna be talking about the whole rental process. What documents do you need? What information you can share, what not to share. I'm gonna go with a little bit more details about how I help renters, and maybe I share some ideas in how you can, you know, increase those chances for you to get approved. I'll see you next week.